All right, we've got a Gaggia Classic here. We're taking a look at the decompression duct, also known as a blowdown tube. If you want to get the water reservoir here, the way this is designed to operate is you can just pull this tube right off. Then you pull out the drip tray and you can get to the water reservoir. You can remove that completely. So what some people have done, rather than pulling this tube just off, then that's the way it's designed to operate, is they've taken a wrench here and loosened up the nut. And when you take this off, and again, you don't have to do this, you can just pull the tube down. So you take this piece off, and then the little fitting up here can get stuck up into the machine, and then you can't get this back on. So we're going to show you how to take care of that. What you will need is a crescent wrench or an open-ended wrench of the proper size to fit this nut here, and a Phillips head screwdriver. So to get back to where we need to be, first what we're going to do is take out 2 screws here to remove the top. Now, of course, what we want to do, safety first, we're going to unplug the machine because we're going to go inside and there'll be power in there otherwise, so we're unplugging the machine. We'll take our screwdriver and just loosen the 2 screws right here. So there's 1 and 2. I'm going to take that off, set that aside. And then this just lifts out. Now be kind of careful, I'm leaving the screws in there. Lifts out and slides back a little bit. And we can put that aside. Now notice there's this little rubber piece here, goes on one way. And that's our top tray is going to slide back into there at the end here when we put things back together. All right, so I'm going to turn the machine here so we can see where that hole is. And so this is the tube that goes down to that hole, and what happens again, this part can get pushed out from that hole, and then if you don't take the top off, you can't get this back on there. So take the top off, we're going to take that and just put it down in the hole, and when we go to reattach that nut from down below, we're going to hold this in place while we do that. Now, I'll show you that in just a second. Again, we'll just hold on the tube here while we reattach the nut here by just screwing it on. But one other thing we need to take a look at before we do that is inside of the tube here is a little O-ring. I'm going to try and push it out of here. And that needs, there it is. This little O-ring needs to be down inside there. If it's not, you'll get some leaking around here. So make sure that O-ring's down in there. You can use the tube if it comes out to get it kind of pushed back into place so it's kind of centered up when you go and reattach this, it will push it back down into place. So, so just holding onto the tube in here, so it's in the hole. We're going to go, and I'll turn this a little bit so we can see, hopefully. So we'll just take the nut and we'll put it on by hand right here. Holding it in place and then tighten that up. Move this stuff out of the way. And then we'll take a wrench and just give it a little extra tightening here. You don't have to go real hard on that. And then that's it. Then you're all set. So you turn it back up. And that tube should go back in there just fine, and that's all good. I'm going to remove that for now. So now let's put the top back together here. So what we've got is that little rubber piece here, and it only goes on one way. You can see there's a wider here, and then 2 smaller ones here, so that's going to slide right over like so. Okay. And then we go to put the top back on, so you're going to want to kind of angle this down into that groove that's in the rubber piece. Make sure it's all even. Okay, and then when we come to the back, what you got to do is the fill hole here where you can put water down in. So once that's lined up, you take your finger down in here, kind of push on this a little bit, and you feel it go down into the hole. So when you look down in here, you can see that it's lined up and it's nice and flat. And from there, very simple. Now I left the screws in here, you probably took those out maybe. So you just go ahead and tighten these guys down. And again, don't have to be super tight, just nice and snug. And we put our stuff back together here. go. And then our tube, see it's got that hole in the, there's a little hole in the drip tray here where that tube can go down and then push up. And that's it.